How many people did George Washington enslave? George Washington became a slave owner at the age of 11 when his father died and he inherited 11 enslaved people. When Washington was 27 years old, he married Martha Curtis. 84 enslaved people are brought to Mount Vernon as part of her dowry. At 29 years old, Washington's older half-brother, his wife, and their daughter all had died. Washington inherited an additional 12 enslaved people. At 40 years old, 2 years before the American Revolution, Washington had purchased a total of 65 enslaved people during his entire life. At 54 years old, and just 3 years before being the president, Mount Vernon counted 216 enslaved people. Washington claimed the ownership of 103, with the rest being part of the Martha Curtis dowry. That same year, Washington rented an additional 41 enslaved people. George Washington died at 67 years old. At the time, 317 enslaved people were counted at Mount Vernon. After his death, the 41 slaves rented by Washington were returned. 153 as part of the Martha Curtis dowry were inherited by Martha's grandchildren, and the 123 enslaved people who Washington claimed outright were emancipated as a result of his will. During his entire life, 293 children were born into slavery, and over 500 people total were enslaved at some point at Mount Vernon under Washington.